get on with the show tonight. And what are we talking about here? The Dr. Subconscious Show. And it's subliminal advertising. Yay! Subliminal advertising is what? It's messages being sent to you that are underneath the threshold of your conscious state of mind. So you don't see them. So they're hidden, all right? And I know the first question in your mind is, does this tie into hypnosis, since I am a hypnotherapist? And the way it works is basically it works on your subconscious. So when you hear about subliminal messages being put underneath the audio track, and then you rotating the recorded track of your hypnosis and rotate it with the subliminal stuff, then you can drive your car, and you're not being hypnotized when you're listening to subliminal messages. So it has a tremendous effect. So the subconscious mind can pick up flickers and flutters, things played in reverse, graphics, hidden in stuff like a can of Coke with ice in it, the different figures. And how does it work? Well, it is believed that the reptilian mind, or our animalistic side, picks up on the surreal messages that are delivered. And those messages can be scary, they can be sexual. So any of our primordial thought processes are being worked over by subliminal messages. All right. And it started in the 1950s with a market researcher used subliminal messages to sell more popcorn and Coca-Cola at the theater. And in fact, sales of popcorn went up by 60% and sales of Coke went up by 20%. Amazing! You're going to sell more than twice as much using subliminal advertising. Alright, well, of course it was outlawed. Is it being used today? You bet. Billions and billions of dollars are being spent on advertisements. So it's still out there, and they're still working around the law, of course. But that's the downside. There is a huge upside to this, because since everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people, just about everybody uses computers. So with software that's available, you can have your subliminal messages come to you on your computer. And they can be anything. You can use text information, graphics, stuff you create, stuff that the authors of the computerized software have written for you, suggestions. What do people want to do? They want to quit smoking. They want to lose weight, and they want to have more abundance in their life. All right? And, my favorite thing is just be more positive. Just lose all the negativity. And the beauty behind subliminal messages today is you program them. And so your mind is always getting this message while you're working on your computer. Some people live on a computer 8 hours a day. So you could see that, you might put a message in there after work. I feel alive. I feel great. And I'm very thankful for the job I have. So there's a lot of good things in subliminal advertising. I remember seeing The Exorcist back in high school, and it was really, really scary. And it come to find out today that the CIA, one of the CIA personnel, had worked on The Exorcist for subliminal messages, and they put the sounds of slaughtered hogs underneath the audio track. Well, that's a pretty common thing to do. It's not illegal, because you're not trying to sell something. You're just selling what people bought a ticket to see, to be scared. All right, and this guy, he did more than that. All right, that's just the beginning of it. So it's a little scary to see what's happening. But if I was going to do an audio track for you, I would speed up my speed of talking by 100%, double it. So I would talk faster, twice as fast, so that you couldn't really understand it in a conscious state of mind. And then I would put it below the audio track that you gave me, that you decided that you were going to listen to while you're driving up and down the freeway, or going to bed at night, or sitting, doing what you do, working. All right. So, audio tracks, subliminal messages are the most common. You see a lot of it in the cans of Coke and Ice in adult magazines. That's very, very popular when people are trying to sell alcohol. It's almost guaranteed. I started studying about this when I was in high school. We had a class in it, and I of course, took to it real well because this is my kind of thing. I brought it to my think tank, who, these guys were like 5 years old and real smart. And they said it didn't exist, subliminal messages. All right, and that was 30 years ago. All right, so the marketplace has gone through the roof in 30 years. They've gotten a lot more sophisticated, especially in the Disney world. Disney puts a lot of subliminal messages in their product, and often, why does it take 3 years to make a cartoon? Well, you got to remember, who's buying the ticket? It's not the kid, it's the parent. The parent is sit through those cartoons, and they're being worked over in their animalistic reptilian brain by the author. And Disney is notorious, and of course they're in lawsuits constantly. But when you go to check them out, when you do a little bit of research on the web, you'll find out they're number one. Whether or not they're guilty, you got to decide for yourself. That's my opinion. All right, graphics. Graphics still being used. Silver screen still being used. It's done. A recent marketer that I read, he'll drop in a message at 1/100th of a second, which is, if that's a second, in computer language, in movie making, that's nothing. I mean, a second is a long time. This program that you're seeing right now, it's coming to you on video, comes in at 30 frames per second. Okay? That's the standard industry rate. All right? And our minds are used to running at 30. Well, if you put it in at 100, you can't see it. Now, I remember watching a DVD of The Exorcist long after it had been out, after I'd kind of gotten over my fear. And I could tell that there were subliminal messages being sent out. One of them was the priest's face in the movie, and he was wearing some kind of mask. It's scary. Scary stuff. But for some reason, that's what gets your attention. That's what excites your brain. That's what you remember. And that's what causes you to buy their product. Congratulations. So, if you were to come to me today and say, well, how do I get it on my computer screen? Well, we would use affirmations. Affirmations are things that you have created, written up for yourself. So, and anybody can do it. So, with our last few minutes of this particular message, I think that subliminal messages have been very, very fortunate for us, that we are using text and graphics on our computers to get done what we want to get done with, how we want to improve in the quality of our lives, whether you're making a sacrifice to give something up, or you just want to move in another direction, you want to be more active in your life, a little less procrastination. I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's amazing that the subconscious can work to that incredible degree. So we should all be taking advantage of it and figuring out some of the things that we don't like in our lives and we'd like to improve on that area. Maybe it's learning Spanish. And if you wake up every morning and you see a crucifix, what message are you sending yourself? Well, it's spiritual. So, when you go to bed at night, think about the one or two things you want to work on. And when you wake up, don't wake up all the way. Just kind of stay in a hypnotic state of mind and say, hey, what do I do to get to my goal today? I'm John Koski. This is the Subconscious Show. And it's just a real pleasure to be here. Thanks for showing up. See you next time.